Alright, what is going on, you Team 26? How are y'all doing today? And welcome back to another post-con video. And so, I was watching Game Explain's discussion on their feelings about the Switch after using it at the test event, right? And I was scrolling through the comments to see what people were talking about. And I was seeing a lot of comments talking about, well, because obviously Game Explain in that discussion brought up how their biggest worry with the Switch currently is a weak launch because they don't think the launch titles are that strong. And so then I was seeing a lot of people in the comments saying that they didn't understand that, like we have Zelda and Mario within the first year, and that it looks like that Nintendo's actually doing a good job and they're putting out a lot of good games pretty early in the console's lifetime. And so this sort of got me thinking, like, how are these people coming to these different conclusions? And so I just sort of I started thinking through this, and I sort of came to, my conclusion was that to sort of look at this release, you have to when you're looking at this release, it really depends what lens you're going to look through. And what I mean by that is what I sort of determined is that there are two ways to look at the release, or 2 point of views that I decided, I guess. So basically the first one, and this is the one that you're seeing very prominently wherever on Twitter or YouTube, and so obviously this opinion is going to be the majority because the people who possess it are the diehard Nintendo fans, the fans that are super invested in Nintendo's success, and their main hope for the Switch is that it will be a system that can revive Nintendo and sort of bring them back to where they were before the Wii U. And so obviously for someone who possesses this and is super invested in Nintendo's success, they're obviously going to want they're going to want that when the Switch releases, there's a game for every type of gamer to play. And what I mean by that is that when I look at this, I broke video games down into 3 categories. One is you're going to be your single player experience. 2, you're going to have your online multiplayer experience, and then 3 is going to be your local multiplayer / more just pick up and play. So it's not very story driven type of single player game. And so obviously when you look at this, you're talking about Zelda as your huge single player adventure, Splatoon as your online multiplayer and very competitive experience, and then 3, Super Mario Odyssey, to be your sort of pick up and play. It can be a single player game if you want. It can also be a local multiplayer. More as a game you can pick up and play and have fun with, right? And I'm not saying that people can't enjoy multiple types of games. What I'm saying here is that if you have these 3 types of games, you're going to draw in more people who are going, and there's going to be more excitement, I guess. And I'm not saying that one person can't enjoy multiple types of games. What I'm saying here is that if Nintendo, when the Switch releases, had one of each type of game, it would look a lot more promising because every single type of player, or the majority of players, would have something that they would be excited to play. And so when you look at the release from this point of view, you're obviously missing out on 2 very big markets in terms of gamers, right? Because you have Zelda, which is obviously, I'm not saying Zelda's not going to be a good game. I think it's going to be fantastic, but personally, it doesn't intrigue me at all. I know I'm never going to be able to put in enough time to enjoy that game to its fullest. I'm never going to have enough time to finish the story, and so it just doesn't intrigue me at all. Now, I think if ARMS was to release with the Switch, I think you're looking at a much stronger release, simply because ARMS has the ability to be a very competitive online multiplayer game. We haven't really seen all that it's going to possess, but from what we've seen so far, it looks very promising in terms of a competitive game. It also has the potential to be a very fun local multiplayer game that if you want to play against your friends, it could be great. I think it has tons of potential for that. They also could throw in a very basic story mode where you're just sort of trying to be the best robot fighter in the world or something like that. Very basic, but it could be fun and entertaining. It has potential to fill those two markets that currently I think the Switch is lacking in. Now to examine this release from the other point of view, where you think this launch looks really good for Nintendo, you're probably looking at something, or you're probably looking at someone who is not necessarily a huge Nintendo fan, but they're looking for a really fun gaming experience where they can play lots of different types of games and just enjoy themselves, right? And I'm not saying this person couldn't be, I'm not saying this person wouldn't want Nintendo to succeed, but it is nowhere near like their main hope for the system. And so to sort of then look at this schedule, right? So this person most likely is going to get the Switch on release with Zelda, right? Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this game, again, I think Zelda is going to be a great game, and it's going to be a ton of fun to play. This person probably won't or may not finish the entire story mode, or at least not like relatively quickly, you know what I'm saying? They may like just sort of play it now and again and have fun with it and just sort of play it at their own pace, right? But then let's say in April, the end of April, when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe releases, they're gonna pick that up. They're gonna have fun with it, and they'll like play with their friends. They'll play it. They'll just play against the CPU, and it'll be an enjoyable experience. Then maybe they'll pick up ARMS to sort of test it out later in the spring or early in the spring. We don't really know the release date for that, obviously. But then when the summer comes, they'll pick up Splatoon and they'll play that. They probably won't invest 1,000+ hours or thousands of hours to really be like a top player in that game, but they'll play it. They'll probably get up through most of the ranks and just have fun with the game. So, and from this point of view, and then obviously you're going to have Mario, and I would honestly throw Sonic in there too to finish out the year. But from this point of view, you're looking like this looks tremendous, because you're going to have a constant flow of good games to play that are going to be enjoyable, right? You're not, because this person's not looking to invest a ton of time into a game and really focus just on that. And so from that point of view, because these games are so spread out and they cover so many different genres, it's a constant refresh. It's refreshing. You're playing different types of games all the time, and they're spread out enough where you're not going to kill yourself financially. And so that's sort of all I just had. I just wanted to bring up this topic just so we could sort of discuss. And that's really all I had to say on this topic. I just thought it was important to talk about, because there are people who are who are arguing about this stuff, and it's really just pointless. And that's really all I had to say for this video. I just sort of wanted to bring this up and talk about the Switch release, and obviously personally, I think it's a little weak. Again, as I said earlier, I think if you threw ARMS in there, it looks a lot stronger. But I do think that the Switch looks really good right now. And so, I mean, we're just going to wait and see. They have said that there are more games. Obviously, we don't really know what these are. I would doubt it. It's Smash, although Smash would really be really good for this launch, although I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, so either way, that's going to do it all for this video. I don't know what I just said there, but either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, if you enjoyed, please remember to click that like button, enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!